Hey guys, what's good? Mike here, Laker Talk. Let's talk Lakers basketball. A lot to talk about. Want to recap this Lakers game against the Rockets. The Lakers lose to the Rockets, 0-2 on the season. Fight breakout. I want to talk about the things I liked, things I didn't like. One in particular, I think LeBron James needs to be doing more. All right. Nothing to sneeze at. He scored 24 points and whatnot, 50 points over the last two games, but there's something about him I think that needs to change, and I want to talk about that. He's way too passive in my opinion. He's not vocal enough. He's not asserting himself like these other stars are doing on these other teams. He needs to put a stamp down and make a statement in one of these games. And we need that. We needed that tonight against the Rockets, and he didn't do it, and I'm disappointed. So I want to talk about it. First off, Lakers lose to the Rockets. Rockets are a good team. So Lakers going 0-2 right now in the season. I'm not in panic mode, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in what I see. There's no panic mode. Obviously, it's tough to play in Portland. We lost that first game, and the Rockets come in, and the Rockets played well. And we lose to the Rockets, a team, in my opinion, that's everyone says is the number 2 team in the West. When you got CP3 and Harden going off like that, and they're playing at the height of their game, Harden doing his thing, and CP3 just cooking us, they're going to give some teams some problems, and they gave us some problems. And it showed from our standpoint that Luke is still fiddling with different lineups, that we're not really truly in certain cases we had lineups that were locking down on defense, in particular when Lonzo was on the floor, but for the most part our defense is lax, and LeBron James, in my opinion, is a blame on one of those in that aspect, because he takes a lot of plays off. I'm watching the game, by the way. Not to mention, I actually went to the game today. Bought tickets, spent around $1,300 for a couple pair of tickets. The wifey and I went on a date, and had a good time. To be honest with you, I've been a Laker fan for 35 plus years. This is probably the 6th time I've ever been to a game. Yes, you can be a diehard fan and never go to the game. As a matter of fact, I don't have too much memorabilia for me being such a huge Lakers fan. But the point here is, I don't actually go to too many games. It was fun going to a game, but when the fight broke out, the big TV up there, they don't even show the highlights. So we saw the fight break out, but they didn't show the replay like they do on TV, and I missed that. So I had to come home, watch the replay, or I caught it on Twitter and whatnot. So having said that, so I'm at the game. I'm watching the game, and LeBron James, in my opinion, there were times when Harden went right at him, and LeBron James was like stuck to the floor. One play, I think he blew by LeBron and dunked on him. Another play, Harden came in, and LeBron just kind of backed off and kind of let him lay the ball in. And so I was going to tweet out, like, you can see why LeBron James is playing so well so deep into his career, because he takes a lot of plays off. Now, mind you, LeBron James is the best player in the world, so nobody could really question what he does to be that good this long in his career, never injured, 16 years in his career, being at the top of his game. Only other player probably is Tom Brady that has done that. Kobe Bryant even wasn't the best player in the NBA at 16. But what I like about Kobe Bryant that I'm not seeing in LeBron James, Kobe Bryant left his blood, sweat, and tears on the floor every single night. And that's something I have not seen in LeBron James other in these first 2 games. And we get to see that in LeBron James only in the playoffs. Like when he played Toronto last year. He was like this for the Cavs. Taking so many games off. People were questioning his defense, but he was still putting up numbers. Like if you look at his numbers, good numbers. 26, 8, and 12, something like that. Obviously, he's, you know, if you just look at his numbers, you're talking about MVP numbers. But when you watch the game, he's not impacting the game as he should. For him being the best player in the world, that's something that I need to see. And I want to see him put more blood, sweat, and tears on the floor for the Lakers, especially a game like that, because all of us fans, we want that. We want, what is he waiting for? Is he waiting for next year so that he can be 17 years in a career in his career, not injured and still at the top of his game? I mean, come on now. You're the best player in the world. You need to put a stamp on the game like James Harden put a stamp on the game for his team. Like Damian Lillard put a stamp on the game for his team. LeBron James, we needed LeBron James tonight to take over in the 4th, especially when it was 108 and 109 when the fight broke out. We needed that. Now, the fight breakout, I'll get back on LeBron, but the fight breakout, Brandon Ingram. I can see why Brandon Ingram was frustrated. Because you always get frustrated. Everybody gets frustrated guarding James Harden, you know, and what he did. And on that play, if you look at it, on that play, you know, James Harden is so strong. He does that, and he, you know, everybody's going to get a foul. You know, every defender, he's almost unguardable. He's always going to get that call, right? But it's frustrating because he actually pushed. If you look at the replay, he ran so hard, you know. Brandon Ingram kind of like was reaching a little bit, but James Harden really used his muscle, his body, and pushed Brandon Ingram hard out of the way to draw that foul. So Brandon Ingram is like, really? You just gonna let him bully me like that? I know it was a foul, but you're not gonna call that here and there. And so that's why he pushed James Harden when he came back, and he got mad at the refs. Basically, Brandon Ingram was like, you're letting him trying to just bulldoze somebody over. You can't let him do that all the time, every single day. And so that's where the frustration came in. And I love that about Brandon Ingram. That shows his heart. That shows that he wants to win. That shows his passion. That shows his frustration. That you just can't come into, you know, to the game and kind of bully me over, or your team bully us and things like that. And I think it stems from that earlier play when that dude Ennis kind of hooked Josh Hart and nobody did anything. I don't even know if Brandon Ingram was on the floor at the time, but nobody done anything. And I think I expected somebody to push somebody at that moment. Anyway, Brandon Ingram's frustrated. I love it. Rondo and CP3 get in it. CP3 says Rondo spit in his face. He poked Rondo in the face. Rondo clocked him in the jaw. They threw punches and whatnot. Brandon Ingram's hot, comes back in, throws another punch at CP3, I think. You know, crazy. But I don't mind, you know, people, they're going to get suspensions. You know, Brandon Ingram might get 3-4 games. To be honest with you, he might get 5 because he threw some punches and he was... Rondo might get 3, CP3 might get 3, you know, I think that's going to be the case. Having said that, the positives, Lonzo Ball, for 75% of the game, he was the best player on the floor in my opinion. Doesn't show in the stat sheet, you know, LeBron James was still -3. Lonzo Ball was a -11 and so forth, but Lonzo Ball, for the 26 minutes that he played, amazing defense by Lonzo Ball in my opinion, because, not amazing defense, but great defense. Because when he would come in, and we were all questioning why is KCP on the floor, Lonzo comes in, and we had a lineup with like Lonzo, Josh Hart, LeBron, Lance Stevenson, and someone, I think it was even Rondo, and pushing. And the defense was on point. Lonzo can switch on many different players. He even switches on Capella, and he can switch on James Harden. James Harden made a tough shot over Lonzo, but for the most part, Lonzo could switch on everybody and give them some fits, and has the best defensive mindset and footwork and body work on the team. Not only that, missed a couple of shots, airballed a couple of shots, then went 50% from three, knocking down three-pointers, and we really got a chance to see Lonzo's, really his strength in how he was really knocking down those shots. If Lonzo shoots like he did today, we're good. And I think that's what we're going to see from Lonzo. I still think Lonzo needs to start over Rondo. I think coming off the bench, he started off a little bit too slow. I think he got into it, got in the groove, he got kind of mad after the air ball or something like that. And you can see it defensively. You can see him even yelling at Lance Stevenson. I don't know if they showed it on TV, but he pushes the ball to the floor, giving it to Josh Hart, really telling guys where to go. Lonzo, in my opinion, I saw a lot of Lonzo. He was the best player on the floor, even when LeBron James was on the floor. LeBron James, in my opinion, he doesn't say anything. He's too passive, and he's sitting back and kind of just he's almost like he's a guest of honor, like he's a guest in somebody else's house, and he doesn't want to like overdo his stay. I don't like it. I want him to be more assertive, and somebody was like, he talks about this brotherhood thing, but when the fight broke out, he's still hugging CP3, his dude, and he's not really getting, it's just too passive. I don't know how long that's going to last, if that's going to last the entire year or whatnot, but I think that's what Lakers fans were saying when they asked him that question. What are you going to do to win those Laker fans over that say, that don't really know about the loyalty yet? And he said, I signed a 4-year deal. The question was, no, what are you going to do on the floor? In my opinion, that's what it really comes down to. And that's what we want to see. I don't see it yet. Skip Bayless said something. The reason why, he goes, James Harden going 39 points did more for his team than LeBron James did for his team. That's why we're 0-2 right now. LeBron James is the best player in the world. He's worth more than 2 max players. He's 2 times more than the average superstar. For him not to show up in these first 2 games, to put his stamp down on the game, you need to call him out. We can't go in, we can't play Spurs next and LeBron James not and be passive and let Kuzma do something and let Lonzo figure it out and let Lance Stevenson figure it out and let JaVale McGee figure it out. No. You're worth more than 3 superstars for the most part. You're worth more. If you go down the league, he's worth more than, we saw what he did last year in the playoffs against Toronto Raptors, right? Toronto Raptors had the best season in their lifetime, and they go against LeBron James, and he single-handedly swept them off the floor, going for like 54 points one game or whatever. He still has that. We need to see one of those games soon where we go, we got the best player in the world, and he's going to give teams fits sometimes. These first 2 games, he hasn't done it. I'm disappointed. Anyway, hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And by the way, KCP, every time he was on the floor, he was horrible. He needs to sit on the bench. Hands down. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing. Holla at your boy. More to come. I'll talk to you. Peace.